Hello folks, and welcome to F1 22 Driver Career Mode. My name is Chris, and this is not a screen that's familiar, is it? My recording decided that it didn't want to live anymore, and that it was going to yeet itself. So we lost qualifying, and all of the good stuff that comes before that, so we're jumping straight into the race. No intro, no nothing. Straight into the formation lap.
We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes.
We qualified P2. We had a very, very good qualifying. Lando Norris out-qualified us by a little bit, but I'm confident that we will have some speed in this race, hopefully, to challenge him for a win, especially after Austria last time, where we had to win literally on a plate. And we said, no thank you. We're going to do a silly strategy instead. So it's all to play for as we come up to the line. Norris in front, Gasly just behind.
There, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out.
Let's see what we can do at the start then as we wait for the 5 red lights to go. You can see how aggressively we've parked in our grid box. And we're underway in Hungary for the Grand Prix. Decent start, but not the best. Gasly's got a decent start as well. You can see him just coming up my left-hand side there. And Norris going very defensive into turn 1. But we're absolutely going to send it down the inside. And we've got the lead of the race. Carlos Sainz coming through on Gasly for P3. And that is the perfect way to start. Charles Leclerc up into P6. Ocon down in P5. Norris is still there, though. And he's trying to have a little look down the inside. That's never going to work there, though. And we're going to hold it for now. Into the lead of the race we go in this first lap. Not pulling away, though. We need to bear that in mind. Obviously, it's only the first lap, but Norris is right there on our gearbox. And I know it's difficult to overtake around here, but it's not impossible. We've just proven that into turn 1. So, yeah, we're going to have to see if we can pull out a bit of a lead and hopefully just break out of that DRS range of his and, yeah, run away for the victory. But we'll see. We'll see. We've got a mighty train here. Everybody's only a few tenths away from each other, as you'd expect at the start, but even into lap 1, later on in the lap, it tends to spread out a bit, and that hasn't happened here. So it's going to be a very, very close race. No mistakes, I would say, or you're just going to get eaten alive as we head round to complete lap 1. I say no mistakes. We've gone a bit wide there and sort of cut Norris off as we come back on, so kind of worked in our favour, a little bit naughty perhaps, but yeah, we've pulled out a little bit of a gap as we head on to lap 2. We've just got to work on that, haven't we? Just keep pulling out a gap. Third lap, though. DRS obviously firmly enabled, and Norris is sending us a message. He's just set the fastest lap, which means we need to up the pace a little bit. He's 5 tenths behind. He's going to get DRS at both straights, so not ideal. Anyway, here's Carlos Sainz having a little look at Norris himself. So I think Norris is probably going to be trying to have a go at us. He's gone to the outside, but he's decided that perhaps now isn't the time. And try it down the second DRS straight. Maybe. I don't know if he's going to have the pace, though. That McLaren's so fast. And, yeah, Norris just seems to drive the wheels off it on top of that. So, yeah, Sainz is going to have a tough time. We're going to have a tough time keeping them behind. Because we're quick, but we're not that quick. Let's face it. So, oh, was he having a look there? That was interesting. I took somewhat avoiding action there because I saw the arrow go red and I thought, nope, not today. I did not want to be taken out. So we keep the place, but we did have to go off track to do it. So luckily not had to hand that one back. Not that the move was really on. He definitely wasn't alongside us, but it was a scary moment nonetheless. But lap 6 now we're on, and look at the speed he has. It's ridiculous. He's absolutely launched it out that corner, down the inside, and there's just nothing we can do. Nothing we can do to defend that. Didn't really help that we went wide, so I say there was nothing to do. We probably could have gone a bit more aggressive, but we had to leave him space because he was firmly alongside us going into the brake zone. So maybe we can get the place back. I don't know. It's a long old race, 35 laps around Hungary, so it's a long race. Can we get him down into turn 1? Are we going to do that? We're going to have a little look. Certainly, we're going to force the move. He has to sort of correct his steering a little bit there, because if he'd have turned in, that would have been game over for both of us, I would have reckoned. But we are back into the lead of this race. Can we hold it, though? He was having a look down the inside there, but we've just about managed to hold him off. And off we go. Carlos Sainz and Pierre Gasly doing a very good job. He's looking again. He loves to have a look there. into turn 4, but I don't know. I don't know if that's an overtaking spot, to be honest. It's a blind crested corner. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be making moves there, but here's what it is. He's so close. He's so close. We just have no room for error here. And I don't think we've got the pace to really pull away, to be honest with you. We're pushing so hard. And bear in mind, it's probably a one-stop race like most races. So we need to look after the tyres a little bit because we've got a lot of laps to do. It's a high downforce circuit, so quite a lot of load on the tyres as well in the corners. Especially these cars, I don't really like the slow-speed corners, and there's a ton of them. But here he comes. Round the outside, perhaps. No, we blocked that one, but he could go down the inside here as we've gone a bit deep, and he is right there, look, up into the lead of the race. But can we get him? Potentially, as we run down the hill. We're going to go up the inside. There's nothing we can do there, really. If we'd have gone deeper, we would have taken him out. So, unfortunately, we've lost the lead of the race back down into P2. Carlos Sainz behind us. We need to keep an eye on him as well because he's ready to pounce at any moment. But yeah, we've got to keep with Norris because if we let him go, he will go. We've seen the pace that he has across this season. And if he can break the DRS, I think he will just run away with this. So we've got to do everything we can to keep with him and overtake him as soon as possible. Maybe just keep swapping places if that's what it takes. But yeah, we don't want to let him get away if we can help it. Not the strongest of tracks though for me, this one. And as we move on to lap 15, what we were just saying we can't do has happened. He's broken out of DRS, but here's Gasly trying to go down the inside of Carlos Sainz, and Carlos Sainz squeezed him right to the wall there, but he's going to commit anyway, and down the inside he goes. Is he going to come out on top? For now, but Carlos Sainz is still there, so he's going to take the inside line for the next corner. Who's going to win out this battle? It looks like Sainz might have it, you know, as they come around here. Someone's spun in the background there. Let's see that. Charles Leclerc, and he's just got on the throttle. Spun it round. Luckily for probably everybody else, I guess. Luckily no safety car. Although a safety car might have been good for us, to be honest. It might have been an opportunity to pit early, get fresh tyres. Speaking of pitting, Lando's in, Sainz is in. We're going to go for another lap.
Norris is in the pits.
And hopefully, with a bit of clean air, we can maybe reduce that deficit. But on lap 18, we're coming in. And Lando is very close. You can see on the mini-map, obviously Ocon's the one right behind us, but just coming around the last few corners is Norris. So I don't think we've really done enough to overcut him, unfortunately. But hard tyres on. And here is Norris going to regain the lead of the race. You can see we're just trundling down the pit lane there on the right-hand side. So he's going to be well clear of us when we come out. Let's see what the gap is. 3.6 seconds currently, and we're not even up to speed yet. So that really hasn't worked, has it? And with the pace we've got, I'm not entirely convinced we can catch him, to be honest. 4 seconds. We need a safety car to have any hope of winning this race. On to lap 20, 6 seconds the gap now.
Keep managing your tyres, manage your tyres. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 6.0 seconds.
We are building the pace a little bit, but I'm struggling on these hard tyres. We did just set a fastest lap, but it's just not enough. On to lap 24, 10 seconds now. It's clear. By the end of this race, he could have a pit stop in hand. That's crazy. We've got a yellow flag behind. Who's that? Looks like an Audi going slowly. And it is Alexander Albon out of the session. Audi's reliability this season, I know it's their first season, but my goodness, it's terrible. They're not having the greatest time. And as we move later into the race, it looks like the rain's about to arrive. Carlos Sainz was having a little look down our inside there, and he's completely screwed himself, hasn't he? Because he had to back out of it. And now we've got a 4-car race for the podium, the last podium position for P3. Gasly down the inside of Ocon. Russell's gone down the inside on Carlos Sainz. Wow. There's a lot going on there. There hasn't really been anything happening for the last 10-15 laps. So, yeah, not ideal. But look at the sky. Here you go, look. Lap 34 and the rain has arrived. But look at the gap to Norris. He's so dominant in that car. It's ridiculous. 21 seconds. And it's not like I've made major mistakes. We're still in P2. And we're keeping the cars behind us, but my gosh, he's just absolutely run away. There's nothing we can do about it. We just haven't got an answer. DRS disabled, so that would mean if we had more laps, we'd be coming in for Inters about now, but we're not going to do that. We're going to stay out and do one more lap on the hard tyres, which is very, very difficult. We've got George Russell right behind us as well, saying, I'd quite like a P2 if you don't mind. A little bit deep. That's not ideal, but he hasn't capitalised on that one. What can we do into the final corner again? A little bit deep. He's down our inside. Is he going to make it? I don't think so. I don't think you can really overtake there unless you completely screw up. Big tank slapper on the exit, but I think we've done enough, to be honest. If we can just get the power down, keep it in a straight line, we should book in the P2, and we do so. P2 then in Hungary. Another one where...
Great drive, great drive. We're really happy with that performance.
I feel like we maybe could have had a win. At least it wasn't a strategy screw up this time, at least. But yeah, just didn't have an answer for Norris's ridiculous pace in that McLaren.
A beautiful performance from McLaren today. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we could talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those that we've witnessed today.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm very happy to see them there on that top step of the podium.
Another win for Lando. P2 for us, so decent points, but we've got to start winning more races if we want to challenge for this title, because sooner or later we're just going to completely just run with it. And I'm sick of saying we should have won this race. I want to be saying we won this race. So hopefully next time out, when we go to Belgium, we will win a race. We'll see what happens. Anyway, here's a look at the results. So obviously we know already Lando P1. We did get the fastest lap, so at least we get an extra point for that. George Russell on the last step of the podium in P3. Gasly down in P5 after starting P3. Not ideal, but could be worse. Ocon tends to come out worse in terms of teammates, but I say that, he's on top of Gasly, so maybe that isn't the case, and maybe that's just recency bias playing a part there. But we've now got a 66-point gap to Lando at the top of the table, and George Russell books in P3 and has now got a 4-second gap to Carlos Sainz in P4. Still second in the constructors. I can't see anybody else catching us there. We're very consistent, at least for the most part. And if I'm not scoring the big points, Gasly's up there, so in terms of constructors, we should be good for a P2, but don't want P2. We want the championship, and we especially want the drivers' championship. So let's see what we can do as we head into the latter half of the season. We're the 8th round of 16 now, so we are firmly going to be headed into the second half when we go to Spa. If you enjoyed this video, leave us a like, drop us a little comment below, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you for the Belgian Grand Prix.